Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm JD Messenger, and we're talking with Richard Polak, and he's going to be sharing some of our tips. Today, our tip is do only the things that only you can do. Richard, what the heck does that mean?
That means if you look at it in the form of an email, as an example, let's take email as an example, all right? You'd have 20 seconds, 30 seconds at the most to look at that email. And then you've got to look at that email and say, all right, is this something only I can do? And then if it's not, you've got certain choices. You delegate it to someone else, you put it on your task list for later, or you archive it. If it's something only you can do, you want to write back very quickly to respond to the email. If not, you put it on your task list to do later. It follows even into a longer conversation about inbox zero, which is clear out your inbox every chance you get, push things off to your task list, delegate it, or archive it, or even delete it. But do only the things you can do, because that's your most valuable assets, and each one of us individually has that the employer has hired you to do. Anything else you're doing is really superfluous.
How do you know whether it's only something that only you can do? Because, I think I'm guilty of this, doing things that I know other people could do, but I feel, oh, I can do it faster, or it's harder for me to give it to somebody else to do. How do you define that only things that only you can do, the second only?
Okay. Let's assume you're a salesperson and your job is to sell products. That's it. That's the only thing only you can do. That's what you are hired to do. Anything else that you're doing on your job is wasting your time and spending the employer's money unnecessarily, and also affecting your own compensation because you're on some sort of performance program. So you're delegated, I assume, as a salesperson, your employer is not asking you to do the administrative work of putting together a proposal. So let's just take the example, you're a life insurance salesperson, and there's proposals that go along with that. When I worked for an insurance company, I was a sales guy. And when a proposal came in to ask us to quote on a project, I passed it along to the administrative team. I gave them direction what to do with it. They prepared the proposal. I reviewed it, made changes, gone back. Then I had my proposal. Then I went out and sold. That's the only thing I can do. They can't do the selling. That's not their skill set. But boy, they were great at putting together the proposals from the RFPs we got and then handing it to me so that I could do my job to close the case.
This gets much deeper, because to me, this is really about competency, right? And the more focused you are on your core competencies, the more productive and efficient you are. I assume this is where you're taking this.
Yes.
So what if you're in a smaller organization, and we see this all the time, you've bundled so many different activities together to sort of make a full-time person. You see where I'm going? Mm-hmm. And so you may not be very good at some of the things, but you're the one that has to do it.
Right. I suggest that you do not bundle all those things together as best you can. You can generally, even in a small organization, outsource to contractors those that are not the only things only one can do. The most valuable people in your company should live by that edict. And if they don't, then you're spending money not unnecessarily. You should invest money in other resources so that these individuals that are most valuable to you can do only the things that only they can do. I see it both ways.
So do you have, you love numbers and statistics. We talked about that in your interview. Do you have any numbers for us on productivity stats, on how much more productive people are if they're only doing things that only they can do?
Yeah, I don't have any research based on this, but I can tell you, you're going to be 100% more productive if you're doing only the things that only you can do. Plus, you'll be enjoying what you're doing much more. And that's much more important, actually, because that will make you even more productive if you're enjoying, more engaged, if you're enjoying.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so thanks, Richard. That's it for today's tips. Do only the things that only you can do. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night.